Is Max Verstappen truly staying at Red Bull? Recent statements from Red Bull Group CEO Oliver Mintzlaff paint a picture of unwavering loyalty. But the shadows of a potential performance clause and the massive 2026 regulation changes loom large. Can Red Bull secure Max's future and silence the doubters? Stick around, because the answers might surprise you. And before we dive deep, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, do you think Max will finish his career at Red Bull? Oliver Mintzlaff, the CEO of the Red Bull Group, has expressed absolute confidence in Max Verstappen's loyalty, boldly stating that Max will indeed compete for the Austrian team until the very end of his Formula One career. What's even more striking is that Mintzlaff isn't fazed by the possibility of Red Bull potentially starting behind their rivals under the radical new 2026 regulations. He's been quick to praise the incredible work happening back at the factory in Milton Keynes, hinting that there's been a different climate within the team since Christian Horner's departure. So, what exactly are these 2026 regulations that could shake up the grid so dramatically? We're looking at significant aerodynamic overhauls, including the end of the ground effect era and the replacement of the DRS with something called the manual override mode. But perhaps the biggest game changer is under the hood: the engines. The electric component will be massively amplified, accounting for up to 50% of the total power, a huge leap from the mere 20% in the current power units. Plus, we'll see 100% sustainable fuels. This is where Red Bull's ambition truly shines. With the end of their highly successful partnership with Honda, Red Bull has embarked on an unprecedented journey for the team, diving into engine manufacturing themselves. They've brought in technical support from Ford to produce their own power units starting in 2026. It's an immense challenge, no doubt, but Red Bull has consistently shown immense confidence in this project. This confidence even extends to Raymond Vermeulen, Verstappen's manager, who has publicly stated his satisfaction with the extensive investment being made over the last few years. However, despite all this optimism, the team's less than stellar performance through much of 2025 did raise serious questions about the four-time champion's continued tenure. It even led to talks between Verstappen and Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team principal, at one point. Furthermore, persistent rumors circulated about a performance clause embedded in Max's contract, a fact later acknowledged by former consultant Helmut Marko. Remember, his current agreement with Red Bull runs until 2028. Mintzlaff, however, is unfazed. In an interview with De Telegraaf, he unequivocally stated, "What's important to say is that I'm not afraid of any performance clause in his contract. The most important thing for an athlete is that he sees everyone in the team giving their absolute best for him. And I believe Max is impressed with how the results and the climate within the team have developed this year," he continued. Of course, Max always wants to win and have the best possible car. But we want that too. As long as Max feels that we are working on this and doing everything in our power, I believe he will remain loyal to us. He also highlighted the massive investment in their own engine, emphasizing, "Don't forget that we are an energy drink brand and how unique this step is." Mintzlaff's conviction is clear. "I feel there is enormous mutual appreciation and loyalty. For me, there is no doubt that Max Verstappen will end his career at Red Bull." This strong statement inevitably led to questions about a potential departure if Red Bull were to start 2026 as the fourth, fifth, or even sixth strongest force on the grid. His response? Nobody knows. Maybe we'll be the second or third strongest force. I know we have some extremely talented people working for us, and it's not just about the engine, but also the chassis. Christian Horner also brought in many good people in recent years. Just look at the engine department. He also touched on the natural movement of talent in F1. There will always be people leaving when a competitor makes a good offer. But I also think that many people see that there is now a different climate here, and that they see Red Bull as a winning, cool team that gives talents the opportunity to develop. Adding another layer of intrigue, just last Friday, the German website Motorsport-Magazin reported that two engine manufacturers, rumored to be Red Bull and Mercedes, have uncovered a loophole in the 2026 regulations. This could potentially result in a considerable performance advantage. As a result, the FIA is already considering reviewing the rules to prevent a significant discrepancy between the power units. So, while Mintzlaff exudes confidence, the F1 landscape for 2026 is anything but certain. Max's loyalty, Red Bull's massive gamble on their own engine, and even potential rule changes by the FIA all contribute to a fascinating narrative. One thing is for sure: the future of Max Verstappen and Red Bull Racing is shaping up to be one of F1's most compelling storylines for years to come. What do you think? Will Red Bull nail the 2026 regulations? Let us know in the comments below.